What is a woman?
That's a stupid question, dude. That's a dumb question.
It can't answer what a woman is. It's not a trick question. What is a woman?
Who identifies as a woman?
What is that thing? You can't answer the question with the question.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a
So
registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? What have I ever said that's
I just want to
hateful?
hate you. You're awful. Get off my campus.
When have I ever said anything that's hateful? Have a nice day. He can't say anything I've ever said that's racist, because I've never said anything that's racist. That is the American left in one picture, everybody. Before I go on a college campus, my prayer is very simple. God, use me for your will.
Amen.
Because there's a plan above us all. God is sovereign above all. And the capacity and ability of our agency or action is very debatable. So what is God's plan when I go on a college campus? I just believe I will only tell truth, I will not compromise, and I'll love on the lost.
It's itsSeanDaniel here, and I probably, like a lot of you guys, are shocked, stunned, and really at a loss for words after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It is a dark, twisted, and evil moment for our country, and tragic for his family, loved ones, and everybody he impacted. And instead of focusing on such a tragic end to his life, I thought we could relive some of his greatest moments to see the man he was, the conviction he had, the purpose he fulfilled, and to relive just a small portion of what he did on this earth. Charlie was truly a pioneer, and that's the one word I would use to describe him. Comment down below what one word you would use to describe this amazing man that had such a big impact on our country, and enjoy the video.
Fox News decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Let's go.
There it is.
Everybody should remember this moment. Look, I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier. Remember where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment, you said it's time to actually participate, and look what you guys have done.
And if anyone deserves to get tears in his eyes, it's Charlie. I think we all agree.
I think Erica was chopping some onions or something in the break room.
No one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
We gotta hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God.
It's all God. It's all God. God alone. God alone.
That's all I can say.
Decision desk has it. Pennsylvania.
It's done.
It's beginning.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults, the left. Yes, the campus, Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity. What is a woman?
That's a stupid question, dude. That's a dumb question.
It can't answer what a woman is. It's not a trick question. What is a woman?
Who identifies as a woman?
What is that thing? You can't answer the question with the question. Define woman without saying woman.
It's a social norm. Does it even matter?
What is a woman? This is not a trick question, everybody. You're in college, paying for an education. What is a woman?
How about you talk to someone with media training? Huh?
You don't need media training. It's not a trick.
Well, yeah,
What is a woman?
Who identifies as a woman?
You can't answer the question with the...
What are you talking about?
It's like...
What is a man?
What is a man? The college kids of America going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt who think it's a trick question when you ask them what a woman is. Would you support white-only dormitories?
Everybody has a choice.
So I think white-only and black-only anything is evil and wrong. That's why I hate critical theory and critical race theory, because when it's put in practice, you start to discriminate people based on race. So we're now south of the Mason-Dixon line in North Carolina. We did a lot of work to get rid of segregation in this country. Why are you trying to bring it back?
What work?
The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
In this state?
Yeah, actually in this state. Are there black-only bathrooms out there I'm unaware of, or white-only bathrooms?
Nah.
Right. A lot of work was done in this state.
Your face is small.
Well, thanks for being here. They always go to insults when they lose the argument. God bless you, my friend.
I'm a black woman, and I believe that white privilege exists.
What privilege do I have that you don't have that is based on skin color, not on wealth or socioeconomic status?
The fact that you are sitting here with like little to no education trying to talk to people about white privilege is white privilege.
You served our country and you have lived a life of a victor, and you have the gumption to tell me you're a victim without evidence. We're not able to cite one thing that you cannot do that I can do. If you make good choices, you will get those choices rewarded. You brought zero evidence except an argument from an authority and an insult to my lack of a college degree, of which I am so proud of because I'm not indoctrinated because I didn't go to college. Thank you very much.
That's why we love Charlie so much. Look at that conviction he has. And you have to do all that he did, to travel all those days throughout the year, to deal with so much liberal BS, to have the patience with people to try to help them and wake them up. Great conviction he had.
I had a question.
Sure. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you. My name's Mercury.
Nice to meet you.
Why are you here?
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
You think that's not emotional violence?
How is this? What is emotional violence, by the way? I don't know what that is.
It is harm intentionally perpetrated on another human being that is intentionally targeted at their emotional well-being.
Okay, so feelings mean nothing to me. Isn't why we had the First Amendment to try to push our boundaries and to hear things that might make you mildly uncomfortable?
This doesn't make me mildly uncomfortable.
Does it make you very uncomfortable?
It makes me angry.
What's your name?
None of your business, unfortunately, but...
Okay, hello, nice to meet you, none of your business.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So, do you love America?
Yes, I do.
I hate America. Every state in the USA should be an independent country. What do you think of this?
Well, I just first have to ask, since you hate the country, do you plan to leave?
What do you mean by that?
Do you plan to go live in another country?
No, I do not.
Let me tell you something.
Your face is an idiot.
America is the only country where even those who hate it refuse to leave. That's how you know you live in a great country.
Can you prove that?
You, I hate you.
Yeah. Would you like to have a substantive conversation, or?
A substitute?
Yeah.
A substitute? No, man.
No,
I just think you're an asshole.
Would you like to have a conversation?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like you. I think you spread hate. I think you spread bigotry. I think you piss a lot of people off because you're just an awful person. I don't think you really want to debate because you're just here to piss people off and energize your crowd of racists.
What have I ever said that's racist?
Oh, what?
Can you name one thing?
I'm Hispanic. Can I support Charlie?
Can you name
Does that mean anything?
Can you name a second thing I've ever said that's
Sure.
racist?
I think you're just trying to play a game, and I think this is obviously going to be used.
What
in
have
your
I ever
favor,
said that's
I just want to
hateful?
hate you. You're awful. Get off my campus.
When have I ever said anything that's hateful? Have a nice day. He can't say anything I've ever said that's racist, because I've never said anything that's racist. That is the American left in one picture, everybody. Lots of rage and no wisdom.
LeBron or Jordan, greatest of all time?
Yeah, Jordan, not even close.
For real?
100%. I could prove it.
Break it down.
How many finals has LeBron lost?
5.
How many finals did MJ lose?
0. LeBron's a better shooter, better passer, better teammate, better scorer.
Better teammate? He's not a better teammate.
He's a better team. He makes bums play good, bro.
Michael Jordan made everybody around him better. When it's all said and done, why did LeBron want to wear MJ's numbers so bad if he was truly the GOAT?
Because he was the GOAT before him.
Oh, okay.
Before him.
I believe the greatest is the one who's never lost a final, the one who redefined the sport.
He redefined
the sport. He brought the National Basketball Association doubled and tripled in popularity.
That was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
No. But let me ask you, how do you define greatness?
Greatness is impact, is influence.
You think that LeBron has had more influence than Michael Jordan?
Yes.
I couldn't disagree more. It just must be a generational thing.
Of course MJ's the GOAT. What is he talking about? See, even Charlie had this one right.
What policy do you support to make it easier for young people to buy homes?
Get rid of BlackRock purchasing a bunch of homes and renting them back to us?
Okay, so like seize their assets?
Not seize their assets. Make it illegal that asset managers over $500 billion can't buy single-family homes.
Okay, I really agree with that. That's actually that's great.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a super simple policy fix. If you have assets under management over $500 billion or $100 billion, you should not be in the single-family home business, period.
Okay.
And that's artificially boosting housing prices across the country. I believe homeownership is a moral good for all humans. Do you think we should get rid of the law that says you can't come into a country illegally? Should we just get rid of that law?
My honest opinion?
Yeah.
I would say no.
No, we shouldn't get rid of it.
No.
Okay, I agree. So then when should we enforce it?
What?
When should we enforce it?
I don't know.
Okay, and you know the reason, and I respect the intellectual honesty, because if you said we should enforce it all the time, then you know it would apply to your mom. But look, you're a winner of all this. You get to be in the greatest country in the history of the world, right?
I respect it. I love being American.
Yes, and so, great, okay? And we have birthright citizenship. You have a U.S. passport, I assume, right? You cannot have a sustainable country if you do not have control of who comes into your country with no sort of standards, no sort of process. It's a big mystery.
How do you propose we stop inflation?
You cut federal spending dramatically, and you stop the Federal Reserve from buying bonds of failed banks like Silicon Valley Bank and artificially boosting the money supply, which makes all of you poorer. The reason why you guys are going to struggle to buy a home for the next 15 years is because DC is addicted to deficit spending. Addicted. We could talk about abortion all day long. Every kid on this campus is significantly poorer than your parents because politicians spend tons of money we don't have. It's a fact. It transcends politics.
What formal education do you have?
Plenty.
I mean, formal education. There's like a
If you're going to argue from authority, that's a logical fallacy. Tell me why I'm wrong. Don't tell me how many degrees you have.
Don't ask me to change the conversation.
I would argue I'm more informed because I didn't go to college, and I've traveled the world, and I've met with world leaders, and I've read many books. So tell me,
so oppressive to a lot of minorities that you've met around the world.
how am I oppressive? Can you name one example of how I'm oppressive?
I can name a lot of examples.
Can you name one? Name one example of how I'm oppressive.
I had no idea. Thank you for informing me.
Anytime. Maybe if you didn't go to college, you would learn more.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
I think Hondurans, Mexicans, Nicaraguans, El Salvadorians, Panamanians, Venezuelans, Chileans, they should all go home.
Oh, really?
If they're here illegally, yes.
But like I said before, these people have been devastated by in the past. These countries are poor.
I don't care. Go fix your own country. Don't come to our country.
Because we fucked that up in the first place.
Hold on a second. How did we screw up El Salvador? No, tell me. How did we screw up El Salvador? Can anyone tell me?
The drug war.
Oh, the drug war is our fault? No, the drug war was the cartels of native-born gangs that transformed themselves into violent groups in El Salvador in the western part of Mexico, and somehow that's America's fault?
So, I mean, the CIA did facilitate.
Hold on. It's the cartel that is the ones that are trafficking the people into this country, and they're working right now at the southern border, 15,000 people a day. I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, you know what? I feel so sorry for the person that from Venezuela that came all the way here, broke the law, illegally domiciled themselves. Like, no, go back to Caracas and make Caracas great again.
Oh, make Caracas great again? Despite all the seriousness he had to have, despite all the ammo he had to have in his back. Oh my God, no. Make Caracas great again? He had to be lighthearted and funny with all the BS he dealt with so many times on those campuses. Especially when so many kids are attacking him over and over and over again. But you can see, despite the attacks, that he loved what he did. He would make light of it as well, but it was really not just this grudging, hard-working purpose he had to do, which I'm sure it was. But he enjoyed it. And you can see that even when he has these lighthearted moments with these kids, these college kids, and to see that joy that he has, getting to do what he loves, having an impact, being really good at it, exceptional at it. It's a joy to relive and watch that.
Black people are only 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders. Why?
Because Black people tend to be in lower economic statuses.
So you think that poverty equals crime?
It's highly correlated. A lot of studies
this is where
on
we
that.
disagree. What an insult to the working poor of this country.
So why do you think Black people commit more
Well,
crime,
first of
Charlie
all,
Kirk?
what percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
25%. 75% of black youth are raised without a father in the home. 75%. It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
And why
It's
do
not a
you think that's
racism
a problem?
It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women
And
that they have
why-
impregnated.
Can you clarify your definition of critical race theory?
Is Intro to Critical Race Theory, 1991 by Derek Bell.
Yeah. Wait, but...
Are you familiar with that literature?
Well, yeah, I've read the book, but I don't remember anything about it. It was for, like, a college class. Like, let's be honest. Nobody remembers the books they read in college.
Sounds like a great value proposition to go to college.
No, it is. Trust me. But, like, well, but you didn't go to college, so I guess you wouldn't know.
It's true, I didn't.
So
let me ask you, though, does that mean that I'm not able to have this conversation with you? Because I actually remember the book and you didn't, and you paid for it.
So, first of all, I didn't pay for it. There's these things called scholarships.
Oh, so somebody else paid for you not to remember the book that you
Exactly.
were supposed to read. Oh,
Anyways.
some wealthy donor or taxpayer paid for you to not remember the book.
So when did slavery end in the United States?
Great question. It began to end in 1777, a process of decoupling from an ancestral evil where we have more people in the world right now that are slaves today than back then. The process began 1820s. The debate reignites because of John C. Calhoun, the creation of the cotton gin. We fight a war over it. We win the war and slavery is abolished. That's a pretty awesome track record for a country that inherited an evil that every other country prior to it had. It was the West that got rid of slavery. It was William Wilberforce. It was John Edwards. It was George Whitefield. It's easy to kind of do your thing like, whoa, it's terrible, it's bad. Yes, it's easy to
Slavery
call balls and
didn't
strikes on a society you didn't create. It's easy to try to lecture the rest of the country. Be like, you know, these people are so terrible for something you didn't toil for or sacrifice for.
It's like international law to accept like asylum seekers.
Okay, you don't have to follow international law. We have American law. If international law tells you have to bring in 1 million foreigners, we don't have to follow international law.
Okay.
American law supersedes international law.
What are we losing by bringing more people in?
Wages go down, our social services get overflowed, crime goes up, you lose a common American identity. And that's not a racial thing. When you bring in millions of people that don't share the same American story and they all speak different languages, you're a nation of strangers. You need time for assimilation, and we don't have that. More people speak Spanish than English in the state of California.
I think we should have more people learn Spanish because being bilingual is good mentally. Also, I'm pretty sure there's not much evidence that like crime actually goes up and social services are being used a lot.
Hold on. Have you seen what's going on in New York? They're literally overrunning schools because they don't have the social services to fit all the illegals that are coming into the country. You should go down to the border and see it for yourself. It is a mass invasion of 10,000 people a day.
This was one of the great stances Charlie had, was that our country does not need to be a welcome mat for everybody just because their countries have issues. And that's a hard stance for him to take on these college campuses which have a lot of these victim mentality minorities. And you could see that they still respect him despite him offering an opposing view on this one.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a
So
registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Then a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Actually, when I first saw this ad, I thought it was like an improv comedy thing. It looked so ridiculous that I didn't even think it was real.
Well, no, you can see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel? That's not comedy. That is a 5-alarm fire for Kamala Harris because she's probably going to lose Pennsylvania. But no, I just want to be clear. Is there something wrong with talking to voters?
I don't know how Charlie kept having the patience to go on these college campuses. I know he was very purpose-driven to try to wake them up and to try to change the culture. But man, it is very easy just to get tired of watching them speak, let alone going to speak to them, argue with them, debate with them, and try to wake them up. I don't know how he did it.
Why was Hitler wrong?
I mean, you can write a whole essay about that.
Well, tell me one sentence as to why Hitler was objectively wrong.
To me? I mean, to
No,
himself, he was right.
Of course he was. So there's something above you and above Hitler that we're comparing right to. What is that something?
Morality.
Where do we get that from?
How you come up, where you're from, your parents, your culture, I mean, the place you live. I mean, a lot of different
So
things.
are some moralities better or right, more right than wrong than other moralities?
I would say no, because it just comes down to you personally.
Okay, so the Taliban believes it's okay to 8-year-old boys called T-boys. Are they wrong?
To me, yes, they are wrong, but to themselves, they think it's right. Okay.
Are they objectively wrong?
Okay, what is an objective? What is the objective?
Well, hold on. Objectively, looking
According
outside.
to what?
Right and wrong.
That comes down to me. And to me, they're wrong. But to them, they're right.
Wow.
I don't know how Charlie dealt with all of this, because these people just come up wanting to hate on him without any substance, without anything to really say. And I can see how it was easier to deal with when you have this big group of supporters, but I bet you in the beginning he did not have a lot of support going to these campuses and sharing things against the liberal ideology. It's really impressive what he did and what he grew it to.
Why do I have to be accountable for the white race?
For yourself.
Right, so if I'm racist, I'll take responsibility for that.
You probably are not racist,
Well,
but...
thank you. So then why do I have to comment on somebody else's racism?
But what you should do is take accountability for the racism around you.
But why would you say take responsibility? How can I take responsibility for somebody else's actions? Do you know that a black person is 18.5 times more likely to shoot and kill a police officer than a police officer is to go and shoot an unarmed black man?
Is that the question that I asked you?
No, you asked a hypothetical about if I'm going to take accountability for a racist police officer.
So again...
But I mean, you understand, if I inverted it on you, would you take accountability for all the blacks killing police in America?
That was funny.
No, would you? Why don't you take accountability for all the blacks killing police in New York?
I wouldn't take accountability for it.
Charlie was so slick at using their logic against them just to try to help them see a point, not try to tear them down, rip them apart, but help them see, hey, you need to wake up to this.
What would you say about like the dairy industry and things like that, which like, you know, their backs are built off of undocumented immigrants?
Hire American.
Hire American? Yeah, but then we'd have to like pay them more because
exactly.
Right now,
we would have to pay them more, and we would see higher wages, and the middle class in America would boom.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people like fight against higher wages. Why is that exactly?
Well, I'm sure corporations fight against higher wages. That's why they want a bunch of foreigners to take American jobs and keep wages low. Because they don't want to pay their workers because it might decrease their profitability.
So you are pro higher wages?
Of course. I want people that work in the dairy industry or at Tyson Foods or that work with their hands to be able to flourish and buy a home and have an American way of life that is largely forgotten now for many of them.
Can you imagine the impact if the government had put in place or does put in place some of these things that Charlie has said about the economy like this? Can you imagine how much better off we would be?
What percentage of young blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them?
I cannot think of a percentage right now to give you.
25%. So only 1 out of 4 blacks in America have a mom and a dad around. Do you think that is a bigger issue to address than racism? Do you think more dads is a better solution?
How could dads be connected directly? Like how?
Oh, dads are very connected.
And what about? Okay.
When you have a dad around, you're less likely to be violent as a male, less likely to go to prison.
So explain to me why all the fathers are leaving.
Exactly. Why are they leaving?
Question for you.
Because
why are
black
they leaving?
women married the government and divorced the men that they were once with professionally.
I'm a feminist. And I don't
Okay,
hate
so
men.
you are a self-described feminist. What is a woman?
Why do you want to know?
I'm infinitely curious.
What's a man?
You're looking at one.
You're saying these things because you're trying to get a gotcha.
You're
Okay,
a
so
feminist. Shouldn't you be able to tell me what a woman is?
I'm a feminist.
Isn't that probably
because-
important to feminism? What is the woman that you're trying to advance and protect?
Bruh.
Isn't that
This is so
integral to?
funny.
Is that the whole feminist project? The war
Asking
against.
what a woman is the only way that you can get a gotcha over everybody else. Why is it so important to you to define things in certain categories? How does that help your day-to-day life? Like
What other categories in the human species are there besides male and female?
Well, I just think that categorization is usually unhelpful when we're trying to improve society, right?
I have XY chromosomes.
Okay.
Can I give birth?
No, you can't.
Bingo. That's why categorization matters.
That's like one of the best things is anytime he argues against a feminist. It's just golden. It's almost like it's too easy. And it's almost a disrespect to the intellect that Charlie had to have some feminist come up there and argue with him. It's like easy. It's just like Little League. It was Little League for him. But it's enjoyable to watch, isn't it?
What about SB 1070?
What's wrong? Do you know what SB 1070 is?
Tell me what it is.
It's basically a law for an officer to pull me over and ask for my papers when I've never even been to Mexico.
Okay, well, I think people should be asked for their papers regardless of the skin color.
Okay, so then we go. Here's white privilege.
Why is that white privilege?
Okay, here we go.
How is that white privilege?
Here we go. Who are they going to ask for their papers, me or you?
I get asked for papers all the time
No,
when I
you
get
don't.
pulled over. Yeah, I can show you my pile of driver's
Do you get asked to
tickets.
prove that you're a citizen of the United States?
Hold on a second. First of all, I get asked for my driver's license all the time when I get pulled over. In fact, every time I get pulled over, I get asked for my driver's license, okay? So, but here's the one thing. Hold on. Do you really think that you're being pulled over just because of the color of your skin?
Dude, it's happened many times.
Hey, guess what? I get pulled over too.
We do not debate fascists! Small-faced fascists!
Who would identify as trans women?
Small-faced fascists! Small-faced fascists!
Why is that valid?
Small-faced fascists!
How am I a fascist?
Small-faced fascists! Can't get into West Point. Guys, start barking. That will work. Can't get into West Point.
Do you want to talk?
Mark, that's right. So I would just say, I think.
It's not just his patience that was impressive, but his awareness to really keep watching what he says as he's in these emotionally turbulent atmospheres. Because if he says one wrong thing, gets out of line one time, despite all the other times he's handled himself properly, the media and everybody will attack him like crazy for that. So to have that restraint with all these different attacks, especially the noises, was very impressive.
At some point, somebody's truth has to win. Because guess what? Your truth doesn't matter. That's
Guess
still
what?
a truth
You've
claim.
had your truth in this country for the past thousands of decades.
Thousands of decades?
Not thousands. Whatever. That's a little embarrassing. But like your truth has been the narrative of this country forever.
Has
and
it?
you think
Roe
yes,
versus
the
Wade
white
just
straight
got
male
repealed.
truth-
Abortion was legal in this country for 40 years.
And before the 40 years, what was and crime dropped
Thankfully illegal in
40%
most
after
states.
it went.
on top of that,
Oh wait, hold on. Do you think abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped 40% after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Women.
Black people. Is that so? Are you trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime? That's a very racist argument.
That is not a
okay.
You know,
Actually, I want to see if this statistic is.
I can't hear you. You gotta come on. I'm sorry.
Okay, but there's a reason. There has to be.
Like, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm with you on everything.
Okay. Yeah.
I know you've debated Dean Withers on Jubilee before. I was wondering why you now refuse to engage with further debate with him.
I flew 5,000 miles across the world to have you ask why I'm not going to debate a left-wing YouTuber.
Well, I mean, he continuously tries to get your attention at your campus.
Yeah, right. Yeah, again,
and you just ignore him.
I've debated him twice in the last calendar year. He's coming on my show this summer. Let me be clear. I came to Cambridge to have you ask me that.
Yeah, he's making videos about you avoiding him on your campus debates.
Right. So let me tell you how this works. I do a campus event like at Texas A&M University. I rent it out. I'm there for 3 hours. He shows up demanding to come up to the mic immediately, cutting in line of other students. It's not Joe Biden's America anymore where you can just cut in line and get whatever you want. So therefore, I say, excuse me, Dean, we'll talk at another time. He makes this YouTube video as if I'm scared to debate him, even though I debated him twice in the last year.
Again, the patience Charlie had, and the firmness too, which he needed. But imagine going all the way to the UK, spending all your time, and then getting this ridiculous question. The disrespect that he dealt with and handled eloquently and firmly so many times, really impressive and an inspiration to all of us when we deal with disrespect in our day-to-day lives.
Why do people go to prison?
For breaking the law?
There you go. So if there's too many people in prison, they commit too many crimes. There's other factors that play into crime, fatherlessness and other things.
And how does that occur?
Why is there fatherlessness? Because we subsidize single motherhood in our country, and we have since the 1960s. Well, so let's ask a question. So let me ask a question. So if people decide to do drugs, whose fault is that? But even if coke gets run in the city, do you have to use it?
The question is, it's there.
Oh,
and
but
part of our decisions are always wrapped up in the material
let's play
conditions
this
that
out.
we're living in.
If cocaine was right here and I took it, is it the person who dropped it there or my fault if I took it?
I think the question of fault
Wrong.
is a wrong
My
one.
fault. I believe that people are responsible for their own decisions, not society.
I'm sure a lot of people in the crowd are here for the entertainment value. It's fun to watch. I don't necessarily feel like coming to college campuses and like having these discussions is the most effective way to effectuate change.
So first of all, people say, Charlie, you only talk to college kids. That's not true. I debate PhDs. I'll debate anybody at all time, right? But you're voters. So I'm talking to voters. Like, let's be clear, right? You're all citizens of this great country. Doesn't matter your age. Secondly, look around. I mean, we have had a captive audience of a couple hundred people for 2 hours and one of the most beautiful days on your last day of finals, and you guys could be doing all sorts of different things. And the amount of people that say my mind is changed, my eyes are opened by our content is remarkable. And I try never to take people out of context. We post the entire videos unedited so people can see the entire exchange, right?
I know they're long.
Yeah, they're long, right? We also post clips, and people say, oh, the clips are deceiving. Well, I mean, clips are clips. They lead you to the long thing. Watch the long thing. But no, I'll never apologize for talking to voters regardless of what age they are.
Great example of staying calm, making his point, and really getting the guy that was debating with him and coming in with a little bit of an attitude. He got him to the point of considering what Charlie said, you can see. Winning over that guy's heart, or at least getting him to consider some things.
You got quite the shirt here.
Yes, I hope you like it. I just got it done today.
Yeah. Why don't you read the shirt off for everybody?
Oh, my shirt, everybody, my shirt says Charlie Kirk. Clearly you're offended.
Actually, I'm not. I find it hilarious. In fact, I'm so important that you have to make a shirt with my name on it.
You seem offended.
I actually think it's awesome that what I've done is I'm living rent-free.
If you like it so much, you want to sign it?
I am living rent-free in so many libs' minds that you have to make merch with my name on it.
Okay.
I should charge you a licensing fee for that.
For what? For your name?
That's my NIL. I mean, come on. Like, you got to pay up.
Your name?
Yes.
You're going to charge me for your name?
Yeah, that's how NIL works. You understand I'm being like a little lighthearted and sarcastic?
Do you want to sign it since you like it so much?
No, I don't have to sign it. You already have my name on it, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
This is how you know you're losing. You have to go around being like, F Charlie Kirk. Okay, look great. Good luck.
How did Obamacare destroy our healthcare system? More people.
You got an hour and a half?
Healthcare.
You got an hour and a half? Individual state exchanges, 28 medical excise taxes,
More
not
people
allowing health
go in
insurance to
and
be bought
have
across
healthcare now.
state
They don't have to
lines.
go to the
Bro, you just
emergency
love
room.
talking over women, don't you?
No, I like talking over you too, actually.
Okay,
So. I'm sorry if I assumed your gender, but go ahead, finish your
Okay,
point.
with the dismantling of the health of the Affordable Care Act that the Trump administration has done has been more detrimental to the healthcare system than anything else. Actually, premiums have been going down, but now that the Trump administration has
Depends
been
on
doing
what
all
state.
these short-term plans and things like that, now they're going back up.
Well,
insurance companies
it
are building
depends
that
what
into
state.
their premiums.
So the individual mandate repeal was a tax cut on our generation.
Insurance companies literally say in their premium increases, we are increasing premium rates because the individual mandate was repealed.
Well, the individual mandate shouldn't have been inserted in the first place, and Obamacare is the one through these state exchanges that should never have been constructed, that was done on a partisan vote to recreate a 1/6 of the American economy.
I'm voting for Kamala.
How did Kamala Harris do with running the border? How many illegals have come in under her watch? Why does she deserve to be a president when she can't even manage the border? Kamala Harris has overseen the border. She failed. She oversaw the Russian-Ukrainian dispute, went to the Munich Security Conference, and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians died. She was the deciding vote on the Inflation Explosion Act that makes everyone have to pay more in goods and services. Her first day was 3.5 years ago as VP. What has she done that has given you confidence she'll do a good job as president?
I mean, she inherited a bad COVID economy, and it's gotten better. It has. It's gotten better since COVID. Yes, the economy is better since the end of COVID.
Prices are higher. People can't afford homes. 1.5 million people lost their jobs in the last year. You ask anybody in the economy, the American people don't agree with it, by the way. 75% of Americans disapprove of the economy right now.
Oh, those were probably some of his favorite moments, arguing about Kamala Harris, because it was so easy. And these kids walk up there, think they have this golden argument up their sleeve, and then they use Kamala Harris. It's like Little League for Charlie.
Are you a self-described communist?
Yeah, I'm a libertarian socialist, which is close to right.
So it's an inherent contradiction, a libertarian socialist.
If you want to believe that, yeah.
Explain to me how one could be a socialist and also a libertarian.
So as a libertarian, I believe in people's like personal freedoms, and I think that socialism is like the best way to do that. That's not really what I came here to talk about, though.
No, but it's like being a vegan meat eater. It doesn't make any sense, right? It's like saying, well, I want freedom here, but I also want the government to control every part of my life. So explain to me how a vegan meat eater would work.
So, okay. A vegan meat eater does not work, obviously.
But that's like a libertarian socialist saying that I value liberty, but I don't value liberty. So it's an inherent contradiction. So you got to pick one.
That's not what socialism means.
Now we're going to transition to a lot more serious clips of Charlie so we can remember who he was inside, the man he was and what he stood for.
Before I go on a college campus, my prayer is very simple. God, use me for your will.
Amen.
Because there's a plan above us all. God is sovereign above all. And the capacity and ability of our agency or action is very debatable. So what is God's plan when I go on a college campus? I just believe I will only tell truth, I will not compromise, and I'll love on the lost. All I care about is what I do. And what I do is I fight. And I know what God calls of us. So the specific teachings of Christ is go make disciples of all nations. I'm trying my best to do that. And I'm trying to do it first in this nation because this nation impacts every other nation on the planet. You cannot impact the world without impacting America, period. That's the way that God has designed the universe in this particular being, that as America goes, the world goes. Jesus called us to love children. Jesus called us to tell truth. Jesus called us to contest in the public square for his purposes. So I care about what God thinks of me. So this is, in John 8, it's best embodied, right? Almost every Christian in this audience will be able to tell you the first part of this, which is a bunch of Sadducees and Pharisees are standing around with rocks, and they're about to stone the prostitute woman. And Jesus comes up and says, let the first among you without sin cast the first stone. And everyone starts dropping the rocks. But what comes next shows that Christ is not just grace-focused, he's simultaneously truth-focused. He goes up to the woman who had a career in selling herself for sex and said, sin no more. Now, imagine today how much trouble you would get in if you would go up to somebody and say, stop sinning. You're being too judgmental. No, you're actually being Christ-like. So Jesus stood, he was 100% grace and truth. And that tension is very hard in a modern world because we want to overemphasize grace when in reality, Christ loves us too much to have us continue to live in sin. He wants us to try to elevate our actions to glorify God in all that we do. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. How do you want to be remembered?
If I die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
Another reason why we love Charlie Kirk. He's willing to speak the truth in the face of a lot of pressure not to do so, especially about a harsh reality, a sensitive topic about religion. Despite the obvious signs we've seen of this mass takeover going on in Europe, it takes a lot of guts in his position to say something like this. And that's why we love him, did love him, do love him. And now we're going to finish off the video with a touching clip of Charlie's wife, Erica, introducing him at an event and sharing her heart about this amazing man.
He is, my husband, Charlie Kirk, is a force. He is a force. He is bold when the world demands silence. He is fearless where others flinch, and he has taken on the battle of the next generation, changing these hearts and minds. I know you guys have seen it at the college campuses, changing the hearts and minds of these kids. It's not a career to him, it's a calling. And it's so incredible to see as a wife how God has prepared him, how God has molded him and used him. All while he's doing that, he's still the spiritual head of our family. It is my honor to be able to introduce you guys to one of the greatest fighters that I know, who is so intentional, who is so amazing, and he never backs down from the fight because he knows who and what he fights for, and that is God, it's his family, and it's country. I want to introduce you guys to my husband, Charlie Kirk.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video and enjoyed reminding yourself of Charlie Kirk, the man he was, and just a small glimpse of some of his greatest moments that we have online. And I know how tragic and dark and evil this is, but I really hope that we can be inspired by his example to speak the truth, to have courage, to have conviction, to live with purpose, to want to live for something greater than just yourself, and use that inspiration of his life's example and the massive impact he had to see how can we have an impact and how we cannot be deterred by the temptation to be fearful, to curl up in a corner, and to be subdued by this tragic event, but instead we can be inspired by his example to take a stand and have an impact where we can. Really hope that all of us, every one of you watching, can grasp onto that. It's something I've been thinking about over this past day. Charlie Kirk was an incredible man, had an incredible impact. He was truly a pioneer for America. Thanks for watching.